The Lost Omens Draconic Codex doesn't just introduce new ancestries and lore, it also adds a suite of 9 dragon-themed spells spread across multiple spell levels and traditions. These spells draw heavily on Draconic Instinct, Magical Presence, and the physical power of dragons, giving spellcasters a range of thematic and mechanically interesting tools. In this guide, we'll take a spell-by-spell look at all 9 options, organized by spell level, so you can easily see where they fit into your character's progression and what each one brings to the table. Starting with first level spells, Armor of Thorn and Claw is a primal morph spell that coats your skin or scales in razor sharp thorns. For 1 minute, any creature that touches you or hits you with an unarmed attack takes 1 piercing damage. In addition, if you become grabbed, restrained, or even swallowed, you deal 1d4 persistent bleed damage to your captor. As the spell heightens, the base damage increases and the persistent damage improves, making it a surprisingly effective deterrent against grapples and unarmed attackers. This is a defensive spell with consistent value, especially for characters who expect to be in close quarters or who struggle against creatures that rely on physical control. Moving up to 3rd level, Horde of Underlings is a rare spell that summons 6 temporary minions, creatures like skeletons or kobolds depending on the theme you choose when casting. Each underling has 1 hit point, 5 AC, and automatically fails all saving throws. Their role isn't durability, however, it's utility. Each round, when you sustain the spell, all underlings can move up to 20 feet towards the nearest enemy, and any that begin their turn adjacent to that enemy deal 1d4 damage of the chosen type. They also create difficult terrain for other creatures in their space, making them excellent at clogging up narrow areas, disrupting enemy movement, and forcing opponents to deal with a swarm of bodies. While fragile, the combined effects add up to consistent chip damage and battlefield control for a full minute. At 4th level, we have 2 thematically rich options. Cloud Current is a arcane or primal spell that forms a massive cloud up 30 feet wide and 10 miles long, shaped from air and water vapor. This cloud propels creatures through the air in a direction of your choosing. The duration is for 1 hour or longer at heightened levels, and the cloud can grow wider or even quadruple in size at higher castings. Cloud Current functions as a fast travel spell, providing party-wide movement across huge distances, something that's pretty rare among mid-level spells. It's ideal for exploration, escape, or large-scale repositioning. Next, at the same level is Channel Arrogance, an arcane or occult spell that focuses on mental manipulation. You project heightened self-worth into a target, forcing them to acknowledge you as a figure of true value. Depending on the number of actions you spend, this spell can deal 5d10 mental damage with a will save and fascinates the target with you on a success or failure. If cast with 1 action, the effect is smaller, but also more action efficient. With 3 actions, you maximize the damage. On a failure, the target must also attempt a flat check to use any auditory actions on their turn, as they cannot help but praise you instead. This is a flavorful mix of damage and soft control that fits charismatic spellcasters looking for a thematic tool to disrupt their opponents. At 5th level, Blood Feasting Breath introduces the first true dragon-style breath weapon in this spell list. This divine or occult spell allows you to inhale vitality before exhaling void energy. All creatures in the initial 30-foot cone take 5d6 void damage on a basic fortitude save. Then all living creatures in a second cone regain hit points equal to the greatest damage that a single creature took from the first cone. This creates a 2-stage pattern: damage first, then healing, encouraging smart positioning. Heightened versions increase damage by 1d6. It's a powerful support option in parties where allies and enemies intermingle, or when you're looking to combine offense with restorative effects. Also at 5th level is Divine Dragon's Watch, a long-duration protective spell. After a 10-minute casting time, you can summon an invisible dragon spirit to watch over a single creature for 24 hours. When the spell ends, or you use the reaction it provides, the dragon intercepts an enemy's attack. The attacking enemy is then forced to make a basic reflex save against a retaliatory burst. Heightened versions increase the damage dealt by the retaliatory effect. This is a strong daily defensive buff that secures a clutch moment of protection and pays the cost back with an offensive pulse. Stepping into 6th level, Earth and Sky is a primal spell that channels the force of a dragon's aerial might. You rip into the air with immense force, launching nearby creatures into the sky with you. Targets must attempt a fortitude save or be thrown upwards of 100 feet. On success, they move the same distance. On a failure, they fall the same distance but cannot stop their fall. On a critical failure, they take double the falling damage. The caster is unaffected, floating gently back to the ground. This spell functions as a form of battlefield removal, disruption, or force displacement, excellent for controlling melee opponents or just simply creating chaos in dense combat scenarios. At 7th level, Orb of Twisting Fate offers a unique blend of control, damage mitigation, and thematic flavor. You create a glass orb embedded with Omen Drake runes, projecting confusing destinies into the creature's mind. On a success, the target chooses between striding in a random direction or spending its first action doing nothing. On a failure, instead of acting normally, it must attempt a will save at the end of its turn. On a critical failure, the orb remains active for its full duration. This is a mental debuff designed to limit enemy efficiency, disrupt turn-by-turn planning, and force opponents into suboptimal behavior. Finally, at 10th level, Dragon Turret stands as the most dramatic and visually impressive spell in the list. You conjure a massive tower with a dragon coiled around its base. The dragon has 40 AC, 250 hit points, and a plus 30 modifier for all saving throws, making it extremely durable. When you cast the spell, and once per round when you sustain it, the dragon unleashes a 60-foot cone, dealing 13d6 damage of a type determined by your spell tradition. The tower crumbles only when the dragon is destroyed or when the spell ends. Functionally, this is a battlefield dominating summon, producing sustained area damage supported by high durability. Few 10th level spells offer this combination of offense, staying power, and tactical impact. These 9 spells from the Lost Omens Draconic Codex expand Pathfinder's magical toolkit with options that reflect the power and mystique of dragons. Whether you're looking for battlefield control, fast travel, defensive safeguards, mental manipulation, or massive summoned constructs, the dragon spells offer a variety of thematic and mechanically rich choices for casters across arcane, divine, primal, and occult traditions. Each one carries a distinct identity, and many provide effects that feel fresh compared to currently existing spell options. Taken all together, they highlight the versatility and force of draconic magic in a way that supports both new character concepts and established spellcasters seeking something bold to add to their repertoire. Keep an eye out here for future builds that utilize these draconic spells by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Control the dice, alt the meta, build the legend. I've been Nicholas, your virtual GM. Thanks for watching.